adjourn. Meeting will now come to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Sergeant Shernick.
Here.
Andrew Hall.
Here.
Christopher Rowe.
Here.
James Brienzo.
Present.
Robert Stillion.
Here.
All right, I assume everybody's read the minutes from the
I
last
make a motion to
meeting?
approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes from the last meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And it's a vote. There are no public hearings on for tonight, so we'll skip right down to new business. We have number 935, Cedardale Road, established resident-only parking.
And the gentleman from 8 Cedardale Road, Mr. Mateo, he came in and dropped off a petition requesting to have resident-only parking on his street. And it says, by signing below, I commit that I am a resident of Wooddale Road or flanking the street of Cedardale Road and request to have resident parking on Wooddale Road, Cedardale Road, dead end. So, and I have some previous correspondence from Council Lozey, but it never really went anywhere.
Yeah, as long as they understand, Wooddale Road cannot park on the other, you can't park on either street. Whoever your stickers are, the resident parking's for that street only. They can't interchange the two streets.
Yeah,
There's nobody here?
There's nobody here to speak of it. I did give them the date and the time of the meeting.
Motion to table.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to table number 935, Cedardale Road. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Might as well do the same with 936, I'm
Make
guessing?
a motion?
Yep.
Do I have a second?
No, I'll second it, sorry.
Thank you. I think we
Motion made
split.
and seconded to table number 936, Wooddale Road. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? It's a vote.
Now, they haven't clarified, but I'm assuming it's on the resident side of the street? I mean, that's like a...
On
pond up there,
Cedardale, the
right?
pond's on the other side. I think there's one house that's on the pond side. And then Wooddale, you know, like Bob said, if they do it, the Wooddale people can't park on Cedardale, and
Cedardale can't park on Wooddale.
Wooddale. So I don't know if they understand that.
And it's all
or not.
to spite
It
of...
would be two separate petitions,
minutes,
technically.
Let me just see what he says here.
Why all
It
of a
says
sudden-
residents on Cedardale have resident parking, but signs have come down due to weather conditions, and we're wondering how to get new ones up.
Well, then that would just be, if there's an ordinance, they can be put back
There
up.
was no
There was no
ordinance.
ordinance, it was just put up.
And also residents on Wooddale would like to request resident parking since our street only has 3 houses and is a dead end. And it says residents on Linfield Street park on Wooddale, leaving us without anywhere to park or our visitors to park. Please advise how to go about resolving these issues. And that was Michelle Washington, and she lives at 8.
And you're right about the fishing, maybe that's part of the issue down there. I
8
don't know if...
Cedardale, I believe she lives at. That was from April of 2018.
I think a parallel situation would be Phase Ave. Is that, what do we have up on Phase Ave, you know? Where it abuts the
Yeah,
spring pond?
the pond up there. I'm not sure how it is up there, but...
Either way, tabled, we'll look into it.
Table. All right.
Sorry.
Number 937, at 369 Summer Street, established no parking loading zone. That would be beside the building of the Full Moon
And I
store,
brought a
I
picture.
believe.
So a picture.
This has actually been a problem property for years. The city, the police department, parking department, fire department, ISD, everybody in the city is constantly down there. The gentleman owns the variety store and all the auto bodies and all the auto parts there. They're constantly parking everything up on the sidewalks. If you look at the sidewalks, it's totally destroyed from the parking, which is your sidewalk for the DPW. I know they're looking for a loading zone now. My thing is, it's been sent out to the owner of the building that he should be coming in and talking to parking, maybe the police and some of the services that's being overly used in his property. Maybe something should be even sent to the city clerk's office and the council saying that these people are not parking the vehicles on the property as their permits say. Because when you have these auto body things, everything's supposed to be off-site. We've gone down there numerous times, towed numerous cars. The neighbors come out applauding because it's nothing but a nightmare there. I think the neighbors are going to be even more upset if you take away the 2 parking spots for a loading zone. Now you're also, which I don't know if the gentleman's understanding, but you're taking away some of his parking for his business. So I would like to just table this for those reasons.
Do you want me to read his letter?
You can.
Okay. My name is James Connors, and I own the property at 369 Summer Street. I would like to have a no parking sign put up on the side of Full Moon storefront. It is a loading zone, but people continue to park their cars there, which makes it hard for traffic to go by because there is parking on the other side of the street. Thank you for helping in this matter.
There is a loading zone, or he wants a loading
He
zone?
wants a loading.
Yeah, there is no loading zone now. I believe he's looking for one.
Yeah, every time I've gone by, it looks like there's cars from the auto body places parked out there.
Everywhere, the grocer, we've been out there sometimes, and he's come out and said, whoa, 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 those are my cars. I said, you can't park them up on the sidewalk like that.
Would
I had-
putting in the loading zone help alleviate, at least for those 2 spaces, but...
I'm not sure it will. It could make the situation worse, because now, if you're actually stopping for there, how are you going to get into the store? If you're stopping for the auto bodies or something for a question, where do you park? What you're doing is you're parking in front of the residence. So there's 2 parking spots here, then there's a long area with no parking, and then you have another house. It's all residential around these businesses. So basically, you're going to take the only business spots in that area and make it a loading zone. Again, if the gentleman comes in and talks to us, is the loading zone needed for an hour a day, 2 hours a day, or is he looking to make it all the time?
I think he's looking to make it all the time, but...
And I think he should
don't
come
know,
in and extend where he owns all the property, he should resolve all the problems at the same time. So I make a motion to table it.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded to table
Did you see
number
his sidewalks? They destroyed it.
937. All those in favor?
Right.
All those opposed? That's a vote.
Would a 15-minute parking help him down there?
It might more than he wants to be able to park his truck there and unload and load. But again, you can't park your personal truck there. And the other thing is, I've actually gone to some parking things lately, and I actually get another one coming up. But a lot of the parking departments now in the cities, if he wants a loading zone there, they're actually charging a permit to put the loading zone there, because you're taking away parking spaces from the community, or they're putting loading zone 30 minutes. So if the truck is there for an hour and a half and nothing is loaded or unloaded, they could be tagged after 30 minutes. If the truck is there, most offices have common sense. I would say all offices have common sense.
How do you
Good
determine
answer.
30
Good
minutes?
answer.
But you would pull up, the car is there at 9 o'clock, at 9:30, if it's still there, you would tag it. But if an officer went by and saw they were still unloading and it's 40 minutes into it, they're not going to bother them. But when a vehicle sits in a loading zone for a day, all day, and doesn't do anything, you are tying up a valuable parking spot. Again, a loading zone here might also be used by this business here, or it might be used by the auto bodies too. So it's to tie it up for one thing. If you were going to put it in, we might want to look at some of these loading zones that we put in with restrictions. A lot of communities are charging too. You want to use that loading zone, there's a permit for
How
it.
much are they charging?
Nominal fees, 25, 50, it depends on.
One-time fee?
They have annual ones too, like for $300 sometimes.
I'd like to help him out. So 15-minute?
I'd like him to come in and really have a conversation about solving all the problems. And we can talk about a 15, we can talk about, again, the other problem is, if you look at the corner, you got to stay 20 feet from the corner. So a lot of this,
That's a weird setup.
It's crazy
It's
there.
got no, they drive over the curb to get into the parking for the restaurant.
yeah.
So we've got his number here.
I have his number.
Jim,
yeah,
we can have him.
Ned has actually spoken to him, I've
Okay,
actually
okay.
spoken, and we're asking him to come in.
We can give him a call and tell him.
He's trying to straighten things out down there, and if
Yeah.
you
Oh, yeah.
could, whatever you can do to
Okay.
Yeah, I
accommodate
think
him.
that's his, because he owns that building.
Yes, but he also owns all the auto bodies.
Correct. He
Right.
owns that whole building.
It's one big building, right?
So he should be solving all the problems at the same time.
Sure.
I'll send him your way.
He could always make a nice little loading zone right behind his
Right
business.
there. Or on the other side.
Mm.
There's a rear side to that, too.
He owns all the property.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right. Sir, we're about to wrap up. Can I ask?
It started at 6, right?
It did.
Yep, 6:10. short agenda today.
Do you have some that you were here
I'm on
for?
the agenda, actually. I'm Wooddale, Citadel Road.
All right, we've tabled it because no one was here to talk about
I
it.
went
We're
to
looking
City
for-
Hall instead of coming
All
here.
right,
I apologize, but if you give me 5 minutes.
Just give us your name and your address for the secretary and,
9 Wooddale Road,
Do we have
Eric
to take it off the
Washington.
table?
um,
I think by procedure, we probably should. I'll make a motion to take it off the table.
Second.
all right, we'll take both of them.
Yeah, take
Since
both.
they're both. All right, motion made and seconded to take them both off the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Feel free to speak.
Hi, I'm a 10-year resident of Wooddale Road, and which is a dead-end street, which is considered Wooddale Citadel Meet, which is at the end of the street, it's Citadel Pond. I don't know if everybody's familiar with that area. It's Ward 1, which I spoke to my counselor, who, Wayne Losey, is a very good friend of mine. I did a petition, had everyone on the street sign it. Some of the problems that we're having is late at night. With the new lights, fantastic. Thank God for the new lights. They work perfectly. I called the city. They chopped the trees back, and everything's working in my favor so far. But the problem is, it's still a dead-end street, and it's off Linfield Street. And one of the problems are, people coming down doing lewd acts. The neighbors getting involved. A lot of people so far right now have started putting ring systems in the phone. And what happens is, there's 3 houses on Wooddale, 11 houses on Citadel, and the 3 houses, what I'm really concerned with, people come who live on Linfield Street or wherever and park, but they park directly in front of my house. And they don't park like for a couple of hours. This is like an 8-hour or a 2-day thing. And not for nothing, I have 3 kids and a wife, and they have cars, and I think I'm entitled to park in front of my house, and if somebody's gonna park, I don't mind it. It's a public street. The problem is, we have those 3 houses and people are parking. Neighbor parking where it's kind of not getting too bad, but small drug deals, if somebody comes down there and they meet 2 cars right by the pond, there's no houses on the right side, so where the pond is. So they do whatever they ought to do. I'm assuming it's drugs, because if you meet somebody and then 2 seconds later you pull off, 2 cars meet and they pull off. What I'm trying to do is make the neighborhood and keep it safe. Like at dusk, basically no cars are around, but, if someone gives a party, because the area is changing. It's not like when it moved there the first 10 years. The area is changing, and it's more diverse now. And more diverse means more cars. No parking on Linfield Street, so people find alternative parking, but when you bought your house on Linfield Street, you knew there was a limit in the area of parking, you know what I mean? So I'm just asking for resident parking only sign, just for 3 houses. There's 3 houses on Wooddale, that's my main concern. Citadel residents, one lady was gonna speak to me, she got sick, so she can't come, so Wayne just wanted me to, I spoke to him, he knows what's going on, he said he's in favor of it. So I'm just asking the board just to consider it and, put me on the list and resident parking only. That's basically what I'm looking for.
Now, each street would be separate. One street could not park on the other street.
I understand that. Wayne explained it, everything, how, and he explained how other people are having, situations. So he gave me every scenario. He's been around for a while, so he gets all the phone calls. So he gave me the bad and the good, and, the houses that are located on Linfield Street, which their garage is on Wooddale. He said they might have difficult, but I would like to speak to the board on that part too. But I don't want to hold you up too long because I got late here to the meeting. But
No, that's fine.
I just want you to please consider resident parking only sign.
Yeah, there's set rules on it. If depending on the house, if the house isn't that street address, they can't park. There's a lot of rules on it.
Yeah.
So somebody could be beside that street and not actually be able to park on it. So the house on Linfield Street may not be, whose house is beside that street may not be able to park there. There's a lot of interesting things, and people may not understand what happens with resident
Every
parking.
resident who's dealing with the same thing that I've been dealing with, we all talk. I'm lucky where I moved to Wooddale Street 10 years ago, that I know every resident on the street. And it's not everybody who can say they know everybody in the street. And Cedar and what, it's 11 houses, 3 houses. And even if you look at it, we have our own, 4th of July party, so we get together. So we're a close-knit street and, family oriented. There's about, total of 6 kids under the age of 10 that are on the street. And then there's mostly, probably about 3 seniors who are actually seniors, actually 4. And then we have a retired Lynn cop that's on the street. So, and everything's going good, but just that little bit of help will be sufficient.
Right. I'd almost still like to make a motion table and go up there, take a little further looks before we, maybe some input from the ward council. Unless somebody has different, I don't care, I'm not really strong one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, might as well set it down for a public hearing. Why don't I make a motion to set it down for a public hearing?
I'll second that.
Okay.
So, sir, just so you're aware, so the way it works, the procedure is, we've agreed to set it down for a public hearing. At our next scheduled meeting, there'll be time to speak in favor or
Against it.
in opposition to.
So if someone has a problem with it, they can come to the next meeting and speak up about it too,
But the signs would probably only go on the house sides.
Yeah. Lane explained everything to me, and I'm in the union at the sheriff's department, so I basically know what, that's why I tried my best to make this meeting so I can make the next meeting, you know what I mean? So, thank you for your time.
All right, we have a motion, and it's seconded to place number 935 and 936 up for a public hearing next month. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And it's a vote. So,
Thank you, I appreciate your time.
The next meeting is May 21st.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I go on the computer and double check that. Thank you.
Have a good night.
unless someone wants to bring up any old business.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
All right.
It's a vote.